Thank you all for being here tonight. This means so much to see this room filled. I want you to know next year we can actually hold about 350 in here. So what are we tonight, Kip? 220, 210? So we got a little work to do. But thanks for all being here, and thanks for sharing all of your experiences and pain and working through this. Dan gave me the assignment to explain how ARCHway helped educate and bring awareness to the Laborers Union in St. Louis. And it's a personal story for me, as John alluded to. I came to ARCHway through my son Matt, who was struggling with sobriety while staying at the recovery house on Humphrey Street in South St. Louis. Relapses are common with the mental illness of heroin addiction, and they are as serious as a heart attack with similar results. After 7 days in the ICU, Matt's mom and I took him off the ventilator to start his new life with God on March 29th of 2016. A few weeks after, I went down to the recovery house to collect Mac's things, and I met with John Stuckey, and I started asking my usual 20 questions. Why does this house exist? Who's funding it? What's the structure of the treatment? And I'm sure John felt like he was under interrogation. Some call it asocial behavior. I think I'm normal. So I pressed on and learned that Aaron Beatty, a friend of Matt, down here, in recovery, a super guy, super family, got his family back, got his kids back, and I love to see him grow. Aaron brought Matt to the recovery house. Aaron found his sobriety in a similar house in California. Aaron also worked with John in getting the Humphrey house going. Recovering addicts, helping people struggling with sobriety to find a new way of life. That made sense to me. I was looking for a cause to help with this deadly mental illness. And I thought, everyone needs a second chance. Some need more second chances than others. I knew there were members from all the unions in St. Louis dealing with this epidemic. A recovery house or funding to get treatment is exactly what this community needs. After meeting with Dan and Jan Stuckey, I was confident that ARCHway was providing a very valuable service. I was also impressed on how ARCHway collaborates with other groups in fighting this epidemic. ARCHway's model is very adaptable to replicate in other cities, and that impressed me. So the LiUNA Local 110 Executive Board also believes in second chances that ARCHway provides. And I am honored to tell you that since the start of ARCHway and Local 110's sharp relationship, the members have approved donations of more than $35,000. So here's a little bit how ARCHway worked for us, for the union, and for the unions. When I wanted to look into how the Laborers Health and Welfare Fund was dealing with addiction issues with our members, ARCHway was there. Percy Menzies spent more than 2 hours talking with the board members about the mental illness of addiction. When the Labor Tribune, the major labor newspaper in town and in the United States, was running stories on how the heroin epidemic was affecting union members and their families throughout St. Louis, John Stuckey was there to talk to the reporters. When John Gall and Tom Finan of the St. Louis Construction Forum wanted to highlight opioid abuse in the construction industry, ARCHway was there. Percy and I gave presentations at their monthly meeting. When the LiUNA Midwest Regional Health and Safety Department put on a two-day conference titled Combating Opioid Abuse in a Drug-Free Workplace. Percy Menzies, John Stuckey, and Brian Stevie were there to help plan and present at the conference. The locals' journey with ARCHway has also put us in contact with other groups in this market that are dealing with this crisis. Howard Weissman, Director of NCADA National Coalition of Alcohol and Drug Addiction. They run the Super Bowl ads on heroin addiction that you see, and they educate over 75 schools a year in preventing of addiction, talking about addiction prevention with kids from K to high school. Robert Riley of Clayton Behavioral Clinics and Director of Missouri Networks. Missouri Networks works to change the laws dealing with addiction. St. Louis County Detective Casey Lambert, who leads CRUSH, Community Resources United to Stop Heroin Addiction. They take the county health department resources, they take whatever resources they can, because our police, whether it's city or county, they're the first social responders on a job. So they're working to be better social responders. And you know, I can't say enough about them. Joe Brennan, Local 110 Labor, who runs the Hope Group at St. Anthony's Highland Center on Monday nights, 7 p.m. A support group for parents and family members dealing with addiction to loved ones. Mary Ann Lemons, who runs GRASP, Grief Recovery After Substance Passing. This group meets on Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. over at the Concordia Lutheran Church Library at 505 South Kirkwood. ARCHway shows up to get the work done for people dealing with the mental illness of addiction. Our society wants to deny their very existence. ARCHway is their voice for truth,